Hi friends, welcome back. Hi, I'm Hunter Brene. I am a country bumpkin residing in the beautiful Seoul, South Korea. So today I got a request in the comment section of a previous video. Someone wanted to know how to handle financial business back home while you live abroad. So I figured after a day's work, I'd come back here, some sparkling water with some notes, sit on the couch and tell you all how I am managing my finances in America. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. How to handle your business while traveling or living abroad. So number one, let's talk about bank accounts. When you are in your home country, you're more than likely going to have a bank account, and especially if you come to a foreign country or specifically South Korea, you're going to end up with a Korean bank account through your employer as well. One thing that's really important is to make sure that you have a bank, that your bank is accessible for you while you're abroad. So currently my bank, it is a smaller credit union bank, so they don't have all of the bells and whistles that like a Citibank or Bank of America or a Wells Fargo might have. But the amazing thing is that my bank actually has a way for me to transfer money to and from South Korea low charge. I highly recommend that you look into different options for yourself. I recommend Bank of America. I got a credit card through Bank of America as my travel card so that I could get benefits and points for traveling. But there are a ton of resources out there about banks and which banks are best if you are traveling, which banks are best if you are traveling or living abroad. I will do my best to link some resources below, but most importantly is just to make sure that you have a stable bank account, that you have some money in it, and that they have some form of application or online website where you can transfer money and also just look at your statements and at your account. So banks, that's number one. Number two, let's talk about car payments. In my situation, I actually sold my car before I came to South Korea. I was done paying on it. My car was getting older. It was just gonna sit in the driveway of my sister's house. So I sold it and I pocketed that extra money. But if you are still paying on your car, or if you just choose to keep it, definitely talk to the dealership or to the person that you are leasing or buying this car through and see if there's a way for you to set up an auto transfer. So you want to be able to make those payments on time still, because depending on where you go, the day and the time is going to be way different than your home country. So in South Korea, when it's daytime here, it's the evening prior in America. So sometimes I forget that payments are due on a certain day, or that things have to happen on a certain deadline, and then I'm like, shoot, I now have a late charge, or I now have something else that I have to pay because I didn't do this one thing on time. To prevent that for you, definitely set up an auto transfer. When it comes to car payments, they're really consistent every month. You know the day, you know the time that money is pulled out. So go ahead and see if you can register for that. So number three, taxes. Taxes, okay. Oh, the dreaded topic. Oh my gosh. Caveat, of course, I am American. I'm from America. So the audience that I can speak to in these situations is the American audience. So if you are specifically coming to South Korea, you can register for tax exemption for 2 years. After 2 years, you will have to pay Korean taxes, but you still have to worry about paying American taxes. Unless you want the IRS, knocking at your door and coming after you, I highly recommend that as you are preparing to come here and as you are transitioning here and also living your life in another country, that you're thinking and at least getting the things done so that you can set yourself up for success. So prior to moving to the new country or traveling for a long period of time, you do need to register the 8808 IRS form. There's a long list of countries that this form works for. It's on the IRS website. I'll be honest, that website is confusing as heck. But if I am not lazy and decide to go on there and help you out, that will also be linked down below. Anyways, in terms of filing taxes in the US, it is really, really important that you do make sure that you file and that you file on time and that you file honestly. No one has been able to tell me how much taxes they expect that teachers who are working abroad will have to pay. My tax man couldn't tell me exactly what he thinks that I should pay, but I will give you the advice that he gave me, which is to save 10% of your paycheck every month and set that aside. Put that into a savings, put that into another account somewhere, and just let that sit, because more than likely at the end of the year when you have to file taxes, the government will just ask for 10% monthly for the whole entire year. Now, is that a lot of money? Of course, but it's the American IRS, like American government. Need I say more? So one of the beautiful things about being a US citizen in South Korea, and I'm sure in other foreign countries, but specifically for South Korea, once I start paying taxes, at the point when I decide to go home for whatever period of time that I do, when I leave South Korea, they will give me all of the money that I paid in taxes back, which is beautiful. So you're putting this money into the government, but then they will make sure that you get that money back upon your departure. So if you forget to file the 8808 form, or you're just too lazy to do it, just know that the money that you do pay to the Korean government, you'll get that back. So yeah, it's really nice. So the biggest takeaway for taxes is make sure that you have an American account still open. You'll definitely have a Korean account, and to make sure that you have some sort of savings that you are accumulating from your Korean paychecks. And I mean, I guess any paycheck that you're making. Number 4, let's talk about loans. So right now, majority of student loans and just loans in general are frozen, which is a blessing. Similar to car payments, when it comes to loans, make sure that you have some way to transfer the money from your US account to your loan payment system. And pretty soon I'll talk about how you can transfer money to that US account. So, you know, if you don't got no funds in the US account, that is okay. I'm going to talk to you about how you can transfer from your Korean account to your American account. The last main grouping is credit cards. So if you're anything like me, you know, like to swipe that card. We all have credit cards. We all make payments on them. And the beautiful thing about being here is that the app still works. So if you are banking with a major American bank, or any bank, honestly, even my little rinky-dink bank, we have a mobile app. You can continue to make payments on the mobile app. You more than likely, I'd say 99.999%, you will have to use your American bank account to pay on these American things. So like I mentioned, car payment, taxes, loans, credit card. Even though you are in another country, you'll more than likely have to transfer that money to your American bank account if you don't already have funds there. My tip for transferring money from your Korean or other bank account to your American account is using SentBee. So SentBee is an app where you can register your bank account in one place and your bank account in another place and transfer between the two low charge. I don't know all the details because I have not used it yet, but this month will be the first time that I will be using SentBee to transfer my savings in South Korea to my bank account in America. So if you want an update about SentBee and how much it charged for the amount that I sent, leave a comment, let me know, and I can definitely update via comments or film an update video about SentBee. But there are plenty of videos on YouTube that I watched and that other people just have made to speak to how great SentBee is. And when I say transfer, you're transferring from between currencies. So you have Korean won, you have US dollars, you have euros, you have so many different currencies that you can switch in between, and they do the conversion for you. They make sure that everything is good and then they transfer. And as far as I can tell, it's super duper safe. You don't have to worry about your accounts getting leaked or any information getting lost, and you know, you still have your money. I will update you if you would like. Let me know and I can do that. 2 more tips. My first tip for managing your money while abroad is to set up a savings. I know that word for most of my young adult life, it left a taste in my mouth. Like, I never really understood the concept of saving for no reason. I would save with the intent to buy something. But at this point now, I have really learned the value of saving just to save, because you never know when things will happen in life. And especially now with the pandemic, pandemic and just with everything going on, you need to make sure that you are monetarily stable no matter what you have going on in life. If you are specifically coming to South Korea, and if you are coming specifically through EPIK or another like teaching in South Korea program, you will get a buttload of money up front. You will be rolling in dough. You're gonna be like a millionaire. Anyways, you're gonna have a lot of money and you're gonna be tempted to spend it. I highly recommend, as a either big sister, as an auntie, I don't know how old you are, but in my experience, I highly recommend that you pocket as much of that money as possible. Definitely give yourself some cushion and say, okay, this is money for me to eat and enjoy Korean cuisines while here. This is my money to go shopping because, you know, the clothes here are great and they're cheap, but here is the big chunk of money that I want to save, and I'm going to put this away and I'm not going to touch it and I'm going to leave it alone. I recommend that you do that because it's a great way to start out this chapter of life, to already have a savings established so that if something does happen and you need to open up that savings, you have it. My second tip is to track your spending. So savings, track your spending, they kind of go hand in hand. My bank gave me this bank book. Yes, there we go. So my bank gave me this bank book. So I bank with Hana Bank, and in this book they give you ample space to track your spending. Ooh, my color's off. I don't really use these bank books. For me, it doesn't feel safe. I don't like that it's something physical that I can lose, or it can get wet, or it can get lost. So instead, I use my phone and I have a notepad where I track my spending. I was about to show y'all my notepad. I'm not comfortable with that. You know, if we're close, if we're really close, message me and we can talk about it. But it doesn't have to be anything super complicated. After getting my paycheck, I write down the total. Then after that, I write down the amount that I need to pay upfront in the month, which is normally things like bills. After that, I establish what I'm gonna save for that month and then decide how much money is my play money. So my play money is the money that I get to just go and spend on whatever the heck I feel like doing that month. If I end up going on an impromptu trip with my friends to Gapyeong and we go to the water park, okay, boom, that's, you know, $40 for water park. You know, that's food to get there, that's food to get back, that's, you know, maybe some gas money for my friend in his car. Or if I decide to go on a shopping trip with my girls, making sure that I have enough money to buy the things that I want and not have to feel like, oh, I can't buy anything. I think it's important to be honest with yourself. Like, if you like to spend money, then don't totally tell yourself, I'm not going to spend any money. Give yourself a cushion. Like, here's the money you can play with. Here's your play money. Here's your pretend Monopoly money. Play with that. But this over here, that's savings. And that's for bills. And that's for this. And that cannot be touched. I have been rambling on. I thought this was going to be a quick one too. Looks like I had a lot of good things to say. And for my friend who commented about this topic, I hope this was helpful. If not, please let me know. I can expound upon this more in a comment or in a future video. Yeah, if you have any questions, any topics that you want to hear me talk about, please like put those down below in the comments. Whatever time it is where you are, whatever day it is where you are, I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Mwah.